Planning and Zoning Commission for the Village of Vernon Hills, and we need to start with a roll call, please.
Chairman Morris.
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo.
Present.
Commissioner Cotton.
Here.
Commissioner Hesner.
Here.
Commissioner Heidner.
Here.
Commissioner Mulcron.
Here.
Commissioner Grog.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum. Okay, the first thing we have in this evening's agenda is a public hearing, which is case 1703. It's an application requesting a special use permit to allow a children's recreational facility to be known as the Gym Spot and M&N Rhythmic to be located on property within the BP Business Park District at 500 Bunker Court in Continental Executive Park. Do you want to make a comment first, Joe?
Sure. For the record, as I've just noted to the petitioners this evening, the motions, the public hearing notice was properly sent out to all surrounding property owners. It was also properly published outside the property. However, unfortunately, due to a technical defect, the agenda for the meeting was not posted outside in the Village Hall or on the Village website. What that means for the purposes of tonight is that the hearings can be held, presentations can be made, discussions can be had, consensus or conditions of approval can be attached to the documents here this evening. However, no formal action can take place this evening, and that will have to be, both items will have to be tabled to a meeting to be determined by the Planning and Zoning Commission members based off of your availability, and we can have that discussion at that time.
I suppose alternatively, the petitioner can just opt to not present tonight and present at that continued meeting?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So with respect to the Gym Spot and M&N Rhythmic, who is going to speak on behalf of the petitioner? Okay. What you need to do is you need to speak from the podium at the front of the room.
This one right here?
Yeah. Now.
Hello?
Okay, 1 second. Do we actually swear him in, even though it's not noticed properly?
I believe we can, just because we are recording this meeting, and so we can hold this as a matter of record.
Okay. All right. Before you begin, as you've heard, because of the issue with respect to the posting of the agenda, you have an option to either present tonight, hear some feedback, but we could not vote on it, or alternatively, should you choose, you can defer your presentation, and we would continue the public hearing to another date where you could present, and there would be a vote. So it's up to you what you'd like to do.
I think we'll present.
Okay.
If that's okay with you guys.
Then anyone who's going to present, I see you brought people with you. If they're going to speak as well, we ask they come forward and be sworn in at this point. Okay. And the other two are here for moral support? Well, that's good. Okay.
One of them's the building owner and the other one's an owner for M&M, but Gara's going to speak on her behalf.
That's fine. Okay, do you want to identify yourselves first for our record?
I'm Norbert Bendixson. I'm the president of the Gymnastics Spot.
I am a general manager for M&M Rhythmic Academy.
And your name is?
Vera Florov, sorry.
And I'm Jeff Festi. I'm with Friedman Real Estate Group. I'm their broker representing them on the property.
Okay. We ask that you raise your right hand and swear or affirm that this testimony you're about to give before this commission of the Village of Vernon Hills shall be the truth.
Yes.
All right, you are on.
Okay, we are applying for a special use at the 500 Bunker. We would like to use it for a child training center for athletes, both gymnastics end of it, boys, women's, and rhythmic. And we have a little presentation that Vera put together for us, and then we can entertain any kind of questions we may have.
I don't see anything. Where do I put it? I don't see it. Oh. I'm looking over here.
Rhythmic Academy presents our missions, our programs, and our champions. M&N has been started, owned, and coached by Mylon Isladgov for over a decade. She has been building a community of champions in her own Vernon Hills backyard with pride and joy. With former championships in Latvia and over 20 years of coaching experience, she is always up for the job. Not only is she a member of USA Gymnastics, but she also holds the Master of Sport title in Rhythmic Gymnastics. She has a degree in physical education. With all these credentials, her real credentials or her students who have completed their goals in state, regional, and national qualifications. Our sport is a unique blend of acrobatic and dance elements. We use choreographed music and apparatuses such as ribbon ball and hoops. Everything is in constant motion, coordinated to synchronized body movements with flexibility and strength. Rhythmic gymnastics improves coordination, strength, flexibility, agility, and endurance. Our all-girls sport trains hard to improve all these skills. Our missions and philosophy is to provide instructions for kids in a fun and friendly environment with encouragement to accomplish their individual goals and inspire each child to pursue their desired level of performance with confidence in their own ability. We want our kids to have fun and reach the goals they are willing for. Our goal is to develop gymnasts at every level from the very beginning and allow them to establish lifelong patterns of physical activity with valuable concepts as determination, organization, cooperation, commitment, excellence, and sportsmanship. We always have our younger students looking up to the older ones who have already reached their goals and can offer encouragement and good influence. Our program accommodates all ages and ambitions. Once a girl shows her ambition and skills, she is offered opportunities to expand into more training programs and competitions to her desire. Of course, every girl is inspired to simply do her best. We offer recreational and developmental programs for mainly younger children. Whether their parents want them to advance motor skills or just want some active fun, our classes reach both goals. Not only do students learn lifelong skills they can transfer to any sport, but they also gain sociability and healthy fitness habits, all while jumping, giggling, and playing games. Our preteen division prepare our younger students for competitive levels ahead. They also participate in various home competitions for good practice and good fun. Ballet lessons not only enhance abilities in competitive levels but, overall, give the girls a different kind of discipline and attention to their skills. We offer a curriculum with a focus on classical movements with elements of free and expressive dance. Necessary skills in ballet carry over into skills used in rhythmic gymnastics. Training and competitive programs work on certain skills and certain apparatuses each year. As a girl levels up, so do her skills and abilities to work with different routines and tools. Levels 6-10 become substantially more and more competitive as each girl moves up. Girls in level 10 qualify for the national championships and train for up to 16 hours a week to keep their skills sharp and focused. Our program has a way to be very competitive, competing all over U.S. and in invitational, regional, and national meets. We participate in national camps, but ultimately we travel and compete to earn medals and have fun. On top of all the serious skills and progress girls make, they also get to travel with their friends and see beyond their small town in Illinois. One girl who has really seen it all is Nicole Slavkov. She is a former gymnast in our program who has traded off to be a USA National Senior Group member. She is winning medals representing our country in France, Spain, and Italy. We are proud and loud about girls who have found their success. Another part of our gym we like to be loud and proud about is the community around it. Over 90% of our girls are Vernon Hills residents. We host our show in the Sullivan Center and participate in the annual 4th of July parade. Moving on to our best partners in Gym Spot. It originated in 1978 with Norbert Bendixen. He started in Mundelein in a small space at a dance studio and moved on to the new facility used today. He is a former Illinois gymnastics men's team member and has over 46 years of coaching from the park. Our mission is that at the Gym Spot, we use gymnastics as a tool to teach positive life values in a nurturing environment. Gymnastics teaches goal setting, hard work, self-discipline, and control in a fun and exciting fashion. Some of the teams that work under this mission include the Girls Joe Team, Excel Team Boys, Compulsory Boys, and Level 4 Boys Optional. We emphasize our mission in every aspect of teaching and training. Even after 3 decades, we still have a strong emphasis on our main philosophy. All athletes from our USA Gymnastics qualifiers, Special Olympic competitors, to those with medals in just our Spotlight show hosted for preschool and recreational programs, are brought individual attention to reach their goals. Our sport specializes in artistic gymnastics. We have lessons in all events and we have classes for all ages. We have preschool gymnastics for 12 months to kindergarten age. Developmental classes for 1st to 8th grade have competitive levels for competitions in USA Gymnastics events. Our program starts with preschool classes offered to younger children. We introduce lifelong skills like hand-eye coordination, motor control, flexibility and strength. They have fun and develop their abilities all at once. We also have our Jump Spot Champions Special Olympics Gymnastics team. It is an amazing group dedicated to fun-loving athletes. We are a co-ed team dedicated to individual time and efforts of each student. We also have a boys competitive team. They train in all Olympic events with all ages and groups. They win medals all around the country and overall just have fun reaching their goals. Our girls competitive team competes in all events as well. They also find their passions and goals through competitions. There is also a really camaraderie and relationship that develops when students work, train and compete together. Our champions are our dedicated staff who have been committed for 20 years or more. Many former gymnasts come back with their own children. We really have built a community and despite all of our changes, Norbert will still be found laughing at his jokes and taking people's noses. Norbert has always been committed to his gymnasts, the community they create and the bigger community he is part of. Gym Spot supports the annual Red Ribbon Rally for drug prevention, and the gym has been home for the Special Olympics team and provides part of the volunteer staff that keeps it running. Our current facility is full of equipment, trampolines, and mats. So long as you don't mind the chalk, it's always a great time. Thank you for taking a tumble with our missions, our programs, and most importantly, our champions.
Other than the fact that we are moving out of our facility presently because our present owner that just purchased the facility is going to use it for other uses, but we've been trying to get into Vernon Hills because it's a better fit for us. So that's basically what we are very community orientated. Both in Lake County and all. We have a Carmel High School girls team work out in our facility, and we have Stevenson High School boys team work out in our facility during their season because they don't have the facility for that in their own high schools.
Does Vernon Hills High School have boys gymnastics?
They do not have boys. They do have girls, and the girls do come during the holiday season and come and train in our facility. So that will not change. We have Munline that comes, Carmel that works out there, and Vernon Hills comes, Libertyville comes during the spring. We have classes for them, but during the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas, they come in because they have use of some of the training devices that we have that they can't have at the high schools.
Anybody else? I have a couple of questions. With respect to the, I guess the sample schedule you provided to us, obviously based upon the success of the programs, you have significant participation. With that kind of participation, it seems to peak at almost 250 students at any given time, like your Thursday, like early evening one. If you have 250 students there, I have two questions that arise out of it. Number one, this is going to sound awfully mundane. Do you have enough bathroom facilities for 250 kids? And number two, even under our ordinance with 250 kids, you need 83 parking spaces, and you don't have a lot that allows a turnaround in it. How are you going to have parents pick up and drop off that many children?
Well, to be totally honest with you, when the schedule was submitted, it was a culmination through Vera from our office and their office, and especially with our competitive programs, which is the time that that those peak numbers that you have are, we have a fairly large team, but because we allow athletes and parents, because of their own schedules, we allow them to come whenever they wish, and then they come into a pattern. So what our office supplied Vera was the peak numbers for our teams, where they don't actually ever come with that peak number. In fact, we've been doing a population study when that became apparent within our gym and in the parking lot. We did a population study for that, and we've never gotten even close to that number. The largest parking issue we had are on Saturday mornings, and the largest car count we had out there at that time, including staff, was 50. But most of them were right around 45 to 40, 45 on Saturday mornings. Excuse me. All the other times have been, don't fill our parking lot at 3/4 fill, which is, we have 45 slots where we presently are. So when that became an issue, we said, wait a minute, we really never have that many athletes in the gym. We did a population count for the number of athletes also, and I can provide that for you if you wish. But to answer your question, we never have that many kids in it, and yes, we have enough bathroom facilities for that. We actually have, in our facility right now, we have 2 urinals and a stool, and in the women's, we have 3 stools.
Just to give you a little insight as well about the facilities, the current facility they're moving from, it has less bathrooms. None of the activities growing on the class size is growing. So structurally speaking, there's actually another additional bathroom at this new Vernon Hills location. And as noted, we are working with the next door neighbor. They have a larger parking facility there, and we're in discussions with them about doing some overflow parking for when we do get to those peak times. They're happy to work with us. They currently don't have a tenant, but they said if they do get a tenant, we can obviously work with them because that's going to be normal business hours. Our peak times, or their peak times, are going to be after business hours, and we should have that all resolved here in the next few days.
And the only place we have really for growth is morning preschool, and that's, we're hoping we can increase that by coming to Vernon Hills, because our present facility is in an area where there aren't a lot of need for preschool during the morning sessions, and that's what we hope to build. And we have no parking problems during the mornings at all. And I'm talking about weekday mornings is where we would like to see a change.
For those non-weekday mornings and non-preschool, is a lot of it just drop-off?
Most of
parents?
it's drop off.
With this kind of parking lot, that the only really easy turnaround is in that, what used to be a truck bay, is that what you propose people do? They'll pull in? Because you really can't park on Bunker Court
Turn,
and
yeah.
drop off.
Right. That's what is the proposal, and that's what will be communicated to them in numerous avenues of communication that we have. We actually have in our facility right now, we have parking lot rules in inflow and outflow, and so we will have a similar scenario there.
So where would you propose, I know the engineering building seems to be right off Bunker Court. Where would you propose, like, parents would drop off and pick up kids in your lot?
I would suspect that they will, the proposal will be that they, right at the front door.
And then they pull all the way into the lot where the truck bay is?
They'll pull partly into the lot until that truck bay, yeah. I mean, there's a, further, behind the truck bay, there's further parking behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So we suspect a 3-point turn, or whatever that's term is called.
Anybody else?
You have a large area behind your building. Is that just open space there? Or?
It's just, from what I've seen, grass.
Yeah, it's open land.
So if parking became an issue, you could expand your parking lot out there?
I suspect that the owner, we could come with some kind of agreement, something like that. I don't know what he would be willing to do, but I do know that when we had the architect look into it, that when the building was built, from the architect's drawing, that there was a future building proposed building for future site, and then there was future parking put that, for that also. And I think you, on the plans, it shows that 11 by 17 that you guys have, on the back of it, there is a proposed area for if there would be future building. And then right in line with that would be the parking.
Oh, yeah, we can see.
Oh, it does say it.
It's a different building, Pat. Future building.
What was this building used as before? What's it used as now?
Right now, it's vacant, and it was used as last time, what was it?
You gotta go up.
Because I don't know, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not identified.
You want to tell us who you are, please?
I'm sorry?
Who you are?
My name is Jim Waldenberg. I'm the building owner. And it was a warehouse facility before,
And what did they store there?
industrial parts, pump parts.
So it's just all open space?
I actually own the building that's right behind it, and that's where I run my business out of. I'm in the laboratory supply business, and all the land between the two buildings is owned by one of the two, is owned, the same owner.
I was just referring to the building itself. It's just all open space on the
Inside's all open except for a small office.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the parking.
No.
Now, the staff report indicates that you're going to operate 9 AM to 6:30 PM, but I saw some scheduled classes that go
Oh,
up
yeah,
to
no.
9.
Where did you see the 6:30? No, we go pretty much 9 to 8. Most of our athletes are finished at 8:30, so they're out of there.
So it's 9 to 9.
And I know Rhythmic stays there till 4, or till 9. And, you know, Saturdays, we were there till 5-ish.
And you don't plan on putting signage on the building?
Not as of right now. We don't have the budget for it right now, so when we started looking at some of the prices, we went, yeah, we'll have to, that will be at a later date, but if we do, we will apply for the sign ordinances the way we need to do it. And I do have a list of the, for that particular area, I believe they have a more strict sign code, and I'm aware of that, and we will follow that.
The building currently doesn't have any signage?
It left.
It left?
It was there.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
And this facility, how does it compare in size to your present facility?
It's 4,000 larger than we have right now.
Okay.
And that's, in there, there's a space for, we needed more floor area. So on your plan, it shows open floor area, and that's, so we can have some more areas for athletes to stretch and.
In shorthand.
And how many parking spots do you have at your current facility?
45.
Subject to Blair speaking.
And that's sufficient?
More than, other than Saturday mornings. And I shouldn't even say that. Saturday morning, we never have a problem.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
We are at our 45.
Okay, yeah, so this we don't need.
They use the backside, yeah.
What about
We're,
this
within the numbers, like I said, I think 50 was our largest number, and we do have a little
Kinda clumsy.
driveway where our staff parks so that our clients have the best parking. But we did a number count for everything. We counted them and the present stalls. That's why it says 50 and we only have 45 slots, but that was in the other parking lot.
Yeah, let's ask.
Or
I'm just
road.
surprised that you're able to do that with that few parking spots. I work next to a gymnastics facility, and they take up a lot of parking, especially between classes when you got the one class ending, the parents are there to pick up, and another class beginning, and they're dropping off. It's very crowded in our parking lot.
I have a comment to that. Because we work together for so many years, we overlap our classes. So majority of gym spot classes starts on the hour. We start our classes on a half an hour. So we never, and so it's never bunch of people coming for 6 o'clock class at the same time. Some people come for 6, some people come for 6:30, and then, of course, they leave at the same, at the same ratio and the same time.
Yeah, our numbers are, like I said, we did the population study, our numbers are real.
And of course, none of the classes are exact 1 hour. Some levels and some teams practice is only 1 hour. Some teams practice for 2 hours and a half. Our older gymnasts on upper levels, they actually practice 4 hours per time. So that's why you see numbers of kids and parents always rotating and always changing.
When you say there's no signage, is there anything identifying your use that will be visible to someone driving down the street?
Presently, no, there won't be.
So that there's that one picture that's on the Avison Young that has the address, you're not putting your name on that sign?
Which sign? Yeah.
Maybe.
There is no sign there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another picture. So there was a monument sign.
You have to speak at the microphone, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a monument sign there at one time. The previous tenant put a marble monument there and removed that.
Okay.
And so now they took that with them to their new spot. So it's like,
They took the monument.
oh yeah. They paid for it, so they're taking it, I guess.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not there right now.
But do you host things like competitions or anything
We
like
don't,
that?
we host we have an outside facility for that. We use Lake County Fairgrounds.
Okay.
We have a large event that goes on there. We have about up to 1,000, 1,500 kids that have competed in that meet, but it's an outside facility.
But so they won't be looking for you at, a one-off type of trip? There won't be people looking for you because they're going to a one-off
No,
like competition?
people will be looking for us are people that already know where we're at,
Okay.
or
I understand.
I know that in the past, like many years ago, you used to host some birthday parties. Are you hosting birthday parties
we still host birthday parties. We don't have a large number of them. They're usually on Sundays, and we have one on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Again, 40 kids is the maximum. The times that they are totally are dead times as far as the rest of our activities. On Sundays, we have nothing else going on, and on Saturdays at 5 o'clock, when the parties are, there's nothing else going on.
But will the party parents be able to find you if they're not familiar with?
But part of the invite is an actual piece of paper with our maps and websites and Facebook. We're pretty transparent that way.
Is there any environmental cleanup that needs to be done inside the space from previous uses?
From when I walked through it, it's a pretty clean floor.
Okay.
It was just a warehouse, so they weren't doing anything but receiving boxes and shipping them out.
Okay, anybody else? Want to add anything? Okay, this is a public hearing, so if anyone else from the public wishes to speak, this is the time, though they'll have an additional opportunity at the continued public hearing date. Okay, we cannot vote on this evening, as I think you are aware. What I would note, and then I'll ask what anyone else, is that based on your comment regarding parking, is that we perhaps would add an additional condition that you would provide the parking and drop-off rules that you referred to village staff, just so the village is cognizant of any safety or traffic concerns. And Mr. Carey has spoken with the Vernon Hills Police Department at this point, and they do have certain comments regarding this, which are?
As of right now, they have acknowledged it's primarily drop-off traffic, so as it relates to parking concern, they don't have as strong of a concern. It was noted by the village board members during the concept review presentation that was a significant concern, which is why they've gone the extra step to signing into an agreement with a third party for shared parking.
All right, so with that, what we're going to have to do is determine a new date, and I think you've got, does 5/1 work?
It appears that there are 5 members who are available to attend a meeting on Monday, May 1st. There are 5 individuals who said yes, 2 who are unavailable, and I would recommend that that take place at the regularly scheduled time of 7:30.
So then what we would do is we would have a motion, we would need a second then, to continue the public hearing with respect to case 17-03 to Monday, May 1st at 7:30 PM at the Vernon Hills Village Hall.
I'll second.
Any discussion with regard to that? Okay, we need a roll call vote.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Cotton?
Yes.
Commissioner Hesner?
Yes.
Commissioner Heidner?
Yes.
Commissioner Mulcrone?
Yes.
Commissioner Grog?
Yes.
Chairman Morris?
Yes. Does anyone on the commission want to make any comments of purely an advisory nature to the petitioner in advance of the vote next week?
Sure, I could
Go
start.
ahead, you can go ahead.
I think it's a great concept, and something the community pretty much needs. I would just ask you to check with your architect on the plumbing fixture count based on the occupancy load and area of the building. Just double check.
Yeah, he has, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's good use of the site, and I would support it. I mean, just to give you an idea.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm not going to be able to be at the meeting, but I would be in favor of this use.
Okay, so then hopefully we'll see you on the 1st at 7:30.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Next, we have a development review, which is case 1705, Rust-Oleum Corporation Facility Expansion Project to amend the site landscape plan to construct an addition to the facility. Okay.
Just going to note for the record that Commissioner Hesner has left.
Left the building?
Probably.
Like Elvis?
Has left the building.
I do have a question. So this is development review, so we're actually not really, there's no public hearing attached to this. Is that correct?
That is correct. The way our development ordinance is written, for items such as site and landscaping amendments, where no variations or departures are being requested, no hearing notice is required. However, it does require a recommendation made by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
So then we could actually vote on this when we get to the end, or we cannot?
No, there's still no agenda, we can't.
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
this would be in keeping,
I got it.
consistent with the other one.
Yeah. All right.
Good evening. I'm Kurt Hesner, and with me tonight is Rob Judge, and we're going to be introducing the facility expansion for the Rust-Oleum Corporation to the Village of Vernon Hills Planning and Zoning Commission. Success is contributing to Rust-Oleum's growth, and the designs we are presenting this evening is a continuation of a master plan that was started 6 years ago, with the west parking expansion continuing 3 years ago with the construction of the enclosed walkway and data center and lower level parking lot. This evening, we are presenting an office space addition expansion of 17,266 square feet, and that is gross. That is a continuation of the existing modern aesthetic, and we are not seeking any variations or special uses for the development of this project. This expansion project will address the current and future needs for the additional office space. And we're going to go right into our presentation to you. Okay, the first slide that we're showing you is the overall site, really, that Rust-Oleum takes on right now, which you have the Rust-Oleum International Headquarters that's on Town Line and between Town Line and Hawthorne Parkway. And we also have up in the upper right-hand corner the Rust-Oleum Development Center, which is another entity that they use for assembly and training purposes. This is the main building, and what we have is we show the original building, we show the walkway, as well as the data center that has previously been built, and the west parking lot that was expanded. Also, the south parking lot is also in the highlighted area. That is the proposed area where we're going to be putting the addition onto the facility. It will go over the top of the parking as well as the data center and merge into the walkway.
Then we also have the generators.
Yeah, the generator location is the southwest corner of the lot. we're trying to put it over in that area. Presently, Rob, show them where the generator is now.
Generator is located right here.
Yep. And so it's in conflict with the addition that we're going to be putting out.
Before you go to another picture, can I ask you a question at the expense of stopping your flow? When this construction is undertaken, I'm assuming that the spaces that are under the grade new building won't be usable during the period of construction? And I'm guessing the ones directly to the west probably will not either by the time you put construction, fencing the like out?
Correct.
Where do the employees park during that period of time?
Well, right now, what we're assuming is we're going to probably lose 40 spaces on that west parking lot. And presently, they have 360 associates, I think, employees. There are no more than 290 there during the day. At this point, we believe that since they are not hiring the additional 108 until they build the addition, we will have them park over at the Development Center. Development Center has no more than 7 to 30 cars parked over there at a time, and they have a capability of 151 parking spaces at that location. So we believe that during the construction, between the 30 below in the south lot and the 40 in the west lot, those will be over at the Development Center. And we'll be able to accommodate them.
Okay.
Okay? This is this is as it is right now, where we show the walkway that was built, the chillers, as well as the data center. And this is what it's going to look like when we add that space. The parking will be retained below this one-story addition onto the building itself, and the parking will exist as it exists today below that building. Go ahead. This is another site plan that kind of shows the setbacks. We are within the 60-foot setback of the building setback, and we are within the 50-foot landscape setback. And we have a lot of easements. We have a lot of utilities out there at that point, and that's going to probably deal with where how we're going to deal with the generators over in that one corner, because there's a lot in that corner. And we also show a new exterior patio. The patio that right now presently is on top of the data center will go over towards the pond, have a better view into the pond itself.
Is the pond changing shape at all, or is that the shape of the pond as it is today?
The pond, that's the shape that the pond is today. The shape of the pond will not change.
Okay.
There might be some modification in depth.
Okay. And I'm assuming, well, we'll get to the landscaping, but the willow that's dead is going to go.
I think it's going to go.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not much left of it anymore. Yeah. I know the history behind it and everything like that, and they try to retain it, but it's.
It's seen better days.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
I think if we pushed it, it would go into the pond.
We are in agreement with you. Yes. This is again the site plan and shows you all the parking that's still below the building, that will be at the south lot with the addition, as well as the west lot will be retained as it is today. Okay, this is a landscaping plan. The intent of the landscaping plan is to continue the berm as it exists today west in front of the parking lot and over to where the generator is going to be.
So you'll properly mask the generator with landscaping so that you cannot see it from Town Line Road?
Yes. And the intent of it is the same type of planting materials that we did in the original berm. That berm, and to be upfront with you, will go away during the construction because of access issues, but it will be restored exactly pretty much the way you see it today.
This was an issue when they put that generator in, but will they continue to keep it green? It's a cat generator, and it was yellow, and they wanted to keep it yellow, and the village wanted it green.
Well, that generator is going to have an
I
acoustical.
know that might seem petty, but
It's
I'm,
going to have an acoustical cover on it, and we'll have to check with.
just so it's not bright yellow.
Right, we'll check to see what's available at that point. If we have to paint it, we'll paint it. That's
Yeah.
fine.
The generator will be below grade, will it not?
Not 100% below. We're in the fact-finding portion right now. And so what happens is we're finding an awful lot of utilities. We may not have the ability to go down because of the water level and a few other things that we're finding out right now. But we're still in the discovery phase. Because of the size of the generators, and we haven't configured them yet. We don't know if there's 2 of them, we don't know if there's 3 of them at this point. But we do think we have a sufficient footprint to get what we need in there. The goal, and where it's starting to trend towards, is to have a partial, depth, not a full height depth where they all will be totally underground, but partially below, and then screened with additional fencing and the landscaping. Fencing as per the ordinance to tie into the building itself and the aesthetics of the building. There are concerns in that corner. There's an awful lot of utilities. But we're still in the fact-finding portion of it right now. This is the floor plan, and up to the right corner is what you see is the original floor plan with the parking and the service core down the middle. And then there is the addition. Now below, in the addition, is really more utilitarian spaces and parking. We do have the data center that was originally built right there, and you're seeing storage areas, tornado shelters, stairwells, electrical rooms, sprinkler rooms, and parking. That whole bottom area, most of it is open. But again, the view that you see from Town Line Road will be exactly the same because the berm height is the same. If you can't see the cars where they're parked in there now, you won't see the cars when they're parked in there at this time. And then this is the first floor, or the main floor, where we have 108 workstations, 10 meeting rooms, and then that exterior patio tied into the circulation through the walkway, enclosed walkway, as well as an entrance tie into the building itself. These are the elevations. From the north elevation, the view of it really isn't going to change much at all. And Rob, show them the line or the top of where the walkway is right now. It continues that full length, and all we're doing is really one spandrel panel up. So really from the north view from Hawthorne Parkway, you won't see any difference at all. Then from the west elevation, you see the addition go onto the walkway itself and kind of point that out right through there.
Will you have the option, if needed in the future, to add a second floor?
Yes. It is being planned for a second floor. Well, let's hope they are, because they're doing very well, and that's good. But at this point, we know that probably over the next 5-6 years for sure, we're pretty solid in what they want to do with their growth projections. Okay, let's flip. Okay, and then on the east elevation, that's like looking over the top of the pond. That's where you're going to see the projection coming out, the parking below, and then where the patio is going to be out there, looking over the pond itself. And then the south elevation is where you see a majority of it, and it's a natural extension of the building aesthetics of the original building.
And here's basically where the berm is, and as you could see, it basically comes up to the bottom of the building. So it'll screen all the parking that's below.
Yeah. This is looking across the pond at Rust-Oleum as it is right now. This is what it will look like when the addition is put on. Okay. This is looking from the north, again, across the street from Hawthorne Parkway. This is what it'll look like after it was added. Again, you don't see much of anything. And then the last one is from the west parking lot, where you're looking at the walkway and the patio area above the data center. This is what it will look like when it's put in.
Is the main entrance going to remain on the east face?
Yes. This is all employee entrance on this side. Okay. And that's kind of our presentation. Now, the one thing we thought might be kind of fun to show you is that we did do a video of the interior, a walkthrough. And so if you'd like to see it, we will show that to you, which is what they've done, and they've showed it to the parent, RPM. You are right now in the west parking lot, and you're going to start going into the enclosed walkway and into the building. Now, this has already been built, but the additional vestibule doors are being added. And as you look into the walkway, you look from the walkway into the addition on the first floor. And you enter. And these are kind of the configurations of the space that they have. General working area. Lots of work positions, and I think there's, 10 meeting rooms?
10 meeting rooms.
Right. And that's the corridor spine. The other aisle, as we go back through. And you're looking back, through the open area back towards the walkway that was previously built in the original building. And then you get the natural light coming in, and then they have the huddle rooms and the conferencing areas along that side. Now, this is where we're walking up to the point where we can enter back into the main building, or we can go out onto the patio. And that's looking into the original building. And there you go. And I want to open it up for questions.
Okay.
That's the end of our presentation.
I really don't have any questions, but I think this is a great addition. I think it extends the building that, they built 30 years ago, and I'm glad to see they're expanding, and I think it's great, so.
I was going to say, the architecture is seamless with the original Helmut Jan design, so I think you guys did a great job of integrating that, especially how you did the parapet wall as spandrel glass and anticipating the future of being 2 stories.
Right. The technical reason, which you understand, is that it's a great splice point for the curtain wall as you extend it up. So you'd pop the glass out, you put your splice plates in, and you continue up, and it's a natural expansion point for you. So, it's working out real nice.
I actually I had one question for you. When you designed the new exterior patio, it looks like it's cantilevered or it's on some round columns. Did you ever look at different shapes for that? More like a natural spline, or to play off the rigidity of the building?
There's been some discussion about that. That might be a possibility. Some have said, well, you kind of did a concave. What about if you went out? So as you say, it might, eventually double up.
I just think it's an architectural opportunity to do something playful.
Yeah,
against the-
I agree with you. It's such a rigid, it's a rigid modernistic aesthetic design, and one of the main goals that when you deal with a building like this is that you want to put an addition on it that you look like you were never there.
Right.
And that was really the main thing. Less is more in this case, and we all know who said that.
Do you currently park people over at the development center that work in this building?
They have usually 7 to 30 people parked over there.
7 to 30?
30 people. That's normal. And what happens is, I think they have a total population on a daily basis of 290. So they haven't had a lot of people parking over there at this point because they haven't needed it. But as time goes on, they're going to need it.
And they parked people there 12 years ago when I was there.
Right.
Because we didn't have enough space. At the time they were leasing, they had an agreement with whoever the owner was of that property.
Right. Now they own it, so it's a natural thing for them at that point.
And I do notice that there's a Vernon Hills police car in their visitor
Yes.
parking lot frequently. They do have a very well-marked pedestrian crossing which goes into the park,
Right.
which was always an issue just going to the park. But I notice I see the police car there frequently.
The parking lot's roughly 300 feet, give or take, from, the headquarters itself. And so it's definitely within the distance of off-site accessory parking.
And do you work for Rust-Oleum, or do you
No.
work for?
He works for the
Hessner
Hessner
Corporation.
Corporation, yeah.
Okay. I guess you wouldn't know the answer. You don't know if there's any issue with people parking in the facility to the east, in their parking lot, instead of crossing the street?
I know of no one. And there shouldn't be any.
One of the agreements that Rust-Oleum has done with the village in the past is that, as it relates to the police car, is that the village is reimbursed for that time that the officer may be required to help assist with traffic crossings. Typically send an officer, usually to CSO.
And where is that crossing?
It's,
So farther to the.
We can show you right here on
it's
the
right there.
slide.
It's right there. I think it's right there.
Right here.
Right here.
Just east of this, west of this.
We would never allow people to park to the east or the west. I know at one point, granted this was a while ago, we did enter an agreement with the property to the east to park into the easternmost spaces, and that's when Rust-Oleum went across the street.
Yeah.
Can the future second floor construction be done without disturbing the occupants in the first floor?
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure.
So all the columns are up through the
Because what you
roof?
do is you extend those columns through, that roof. You build a box around them. And then basically, we are not putting any mechanicals on the roof. They'll all be below. And when you do, by virtue of the way we're doing the curtain wall, where you pop that glass out and you put the splice block in, it's a natural erection for the steel, go up with your curtain wall, roof it, and you're enclosed at that point. We are making provisions in the design of the structure itself that the portions of it that will be floor will be concrete, already decked, where the roof is on it at that point, and it's just a tear off, so we're not having to pour. And areas that we may open up for future transparency between floors will be filled with insulation, so that's an easy cut.
Did Rust-Oleum contemplate doing a phased proposal? Rather than coming in for just one story now, did you contemplate coming in for a two-phase proposal where you say, I'm going to do one story now and get approval on a two-story as well? I don't know how that would work with the village, but.
They have determined right at this point for the next, I want to say 5 to 10 years, that they don't need it. But to meet their business plan, they feel this will do it. But we've done a design, for putting that second floor on, so that we can think ahead of how we would do it at that point, to build those into the drawings. So therefore, we do know, how we're going to do it and how it's going to be done at that point. So it's not like, oh, we're going to put a second floor on. No, it's been thought about. I mean, this whole project from the very beginning, when we expanded the parking lot, the first west parking lot all the way through, has been thought out methodically all the way through.
But the second floor is another 17,000-ish feet,
Right.
even though that would be 68 parking spaces, then you're underparked. So are they really looking to do it?
We're not
Or-
asking for that right now.
I understand that, yeah, and I don't blame you. But, I mean, we're talking about something down the road, a maybe, a hope, so we don't really need to consider that this afternoon or evening, whatever time it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we understand that if that were to be put on, there would be probably a variance.
Yeah, okay.
We'll be flying drones by then, we can land.
But Hal, you're very observant, yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have one more. Has Helmut ever contacted you guys about why you're working on his building?
Never.
Okay.
You want him to give?
If I knew Helmut, he probably says, that's what I did.
Right.
These guys don't exist. What do you mean? I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it's great. Rust-Oleum's been a wonderful corporate citizen of the village for a long, long time. The building has become part of the fabric of the community, and this just simply, I think, as they've said to my left, it looks like it's always been there. So I think it's great.
Have you ever talked to the guy that was the executive vice president that helped design and build the original building?
No.
I think he'd love this. He's still around, but.
Okay.
I mean, there's stories to the air handling in there that were yellow because that symbolized the steam from a ship's, the.
Well, they did color code all the systems on the inside,
Yeah,
mechanical
It's
systems.
a very unique. Now, the one thing they didn't put here is they don't have a loading dock, which that.
Yeah, but they have 6 truck parking spaces.
I know, but it's just something that the history of this is very interesting when they built it, is I guess where I was going.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, you think about the time when it was done.
And it was the Ferguson family.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody want to add anything? Okay, as you've heard, we need to continue this case 1705 to May 1st at 7:30 PM. We cannot vote this evening, but if anyone wants to add anything, I know Jerry won't be able to be here before that.
I would be in favor of it.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
unfortunately won't be able to be here either, but I would be in favor.
So we have a motion then to continue case 1705 until May 1st, Monday at 7:30 PM at the Vernon Hills Village Hall. We need a
What
second.
is a quorum?
We'll have a quorum.
Quorum is 4 individuals.
Okay, you're right at the line then.
We have 5
We have 5.
individuals who are able to attend.
Okay.
As long as 5 members are present, that's the important thing.
We're good.
I don't ever remember,
You have 4, because he won't be able to be attend.
You can abstain,
You can abstain,
which is a vote.
Oh,
which is a vote. But we'll have enough anyway.
Well, no.
yeah, he can
we should
vote
go.
present.
Yeah, it's a majority of a quorum.
Yeah.
So.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Now, when we come back again, what's the procedure? Because I've never done this.
Unless you want to add something, because it's not a public hearing, we don't have to reopen it.
Yeah.
We'll simply we'll move there's 2 motions that you're asking for. And as you know, our standing motion is to recommend approval.
Yep.
So we would, I'm trying to turn to the right page. So we would move to recommend approval of final site and landscape plans and move to recommend approval of final architectural elevations, subject to the very small conditions from staff and the plans and elevations that you provided to us, and we just vote on that.
Okay, so we wouldn't have to make another presentation?
You do not, you can if you'd like, but you
We
don't have
would, we
to.
probably would not.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so do we have a second for the motion to continue? Okay, we need a roll call on that.
Commissioner Cotton?
Yes.
Commissioner Hesner? Commissioner Heidner?
yes,
Commissioner Mulchrone?
Yes.
Commissioner Gorog?
Yes.
Chairman Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you
This
very much.
item will appear back on May 1st. We do have a village board meeting on May 2nd. My intention right now is to have this item put there as a placeholder based off the comments that were received tonight. I will assume that there'll be a recommendation made on Monday, which will then, it will be properly noticed and will allow you to be, appear on May 2nd.
Okay, all right. Do we have anything else, or just to adjourn?
There's nothing quite yet. There's been some discussions about a potential use at the shops of Greg's Landing North and one of the adjacent outlots. They'll be providing a site plan to us shortly. That'll be distributed to the village board members this week. So some of them haven't been aware of it yet, which is kind of why I'm not saying anything right now. But that will be moving forward, probably to a concept review on May the 16th. Currently, River's Edge is slated to appear at the committee of the whole meeting on May 16th, and the proposed psychiatric hospital would appear on June 6th. Several of the trustees have requested tours of the existing facility and displays, so we're working to coordinate those tours, and we're moving forward in that direction. Otherwise, that is all.
so other than Monday, we have nothing scheduled.
Oh, correct. One piece of good news for you all is that the budget was approved, which included a increase in the meeting stipend. I know. No.
How many years has that been?
Just gonna go buy a new car?
$21.
It is $50 for commission members and $75 for the chairman and
Oh,
secretary.
wow. Jeez, yeah.
And when was that, when is that effective?
Effective May 1st, actually.
2020.
I'm sorry we couldn't have done this sooner.
That's right.
Sorry we couldn't have done this before Melody Farm started.
Right. Okay, so anything else we need?
No, I do need some signatures
fine.
from
Sure.
minutes that were
Previously.
minutes that were previously approved,
Okay.
otherwise.
Okay, otherwise, we've.
And we really
okay.
previously approved them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right, very funny. Okay, so we need a motion, and we have a motion to adjourn. We need a second.
Second?
We can do it by acclamation. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Good night.